How do you see things right now for women in the workforce?
Nationally, millions have left the workforce. In Michigan, since February of 2020, 229,300 to be exact, women have left the workforce entirely. Just over 7% more than men. And anecdotally, we can tell that that is due to childcare and needing to take care of their kids and their family, etc. And there is some data nationally that reinforces that it's the women with the small children, school-age children and younger, who are leaving the workforce.
Some of the statistics that I saw from the study from McKinsey and leanin.org was that 1 in 4 decided that they may not even ever go back, or they may totally change the trajectory of their careers. And I think when we look at some of those numbers and hear a lot of the stories of women saying, I just need a little bit more flexibility, or I need something entirely different, what are you hearing?
That's exactly right. We're hearing we need predictable schedules. Like people who work in the service industry, they need to know a little more. Their schedules can't be changing all the time. We don't have enough affordable, accessible childcare, and that is the one thing that Michigan Women's Commission has really been focused on. There are deserts in our state where there's not childcare, and especially since the pandemic, more childcare facilities have shut down. They don't have the childcare workers. We don't pay our childcare workers a livable wage. So there's all of those issues, and that's what women are looking for and need.
And it's really an economic issue as well. And when we say, well, they've got to make different choices. They've got to make choices to stay home, and that's just how it goes. But the impact on our economy overall, the impact on the overall health of families is significant here.
That's correct. And our business community is realizing that this is an economic issue, and our legislature and our policymakers. So one thing that the Women's Commission is doing right now, we are implemented a program called the My Tri-Share Child Care Pilot Program. And it's a bipartisan program. In fact, I just got word that the legislature has just voted in the budget to
So it's part of the budget right now?
Yep, it was part of the budget in 2021, and it's been expanded per the governor's recommendation. So we're piloting it in 3 regions of the state right now. And the idea is the employer pays a third of childcare, the employee pays a third, and the state of Michigan pays a third of the cost. And so we are, with this expansion, I believe we'll be able to expand to 2 or 3 more regions in the state.
Are we going to be able to see more programs like that? Or when we're seeing the stimulus money coming in from the federal government, are we going to start to see that in different areas that will help families, will help women have the ability to get back into the workforce?
Yes. So the American Rescue Plan has afforded $1.4 billion to Michigan specifically for childcare. And in June, the governor outlined her recommendations on how to spend that. And it still hasn't gotten the approval through the legislature yet, but we expect that to be coming soon. But it would increase the subsidy for families, so it would include more families eligible for our child care subsidy in the state, about 150,000 more families. It provides money directly to providers to expand their businesses. I mean, these are businesses, small businesses. 95% are owned by women, the child care providers in the state. 40% of those are women of color. And these are small businesses, and they need the same kind of stimulus.
Infusion.
And infusion. So this is what it would do. Increase the pay for our child care providers, give the providers the training, et cetera, that they need to increase their businesses.
So what are some of the other programs that you're working on right now outside of child care and shoring up those services?
We just actually received a grant from the Department of Labor nationally, the Women's Bureau, it's called the FAIR, Fostering Access, Rights in the Workplace, and Equity in the Workplace. So they've given them to the states, a couple of states, we were one of them. And what we'll do is partner with Detroit Disability Power, Southeast Michigan United Way, and Mothering Justice in Detroit to get word out to the women of the state and low-income workers, their rights in the workplace, also how they can get child care subsidy. A lot of women sometimes just don't even know where to go or how to find it. So our job with this grant is to get that information out to the women of the state.
Let's talk a little bit about women who are maybe in mid-level management or mid-level jobs looking to kind of go and be mentored to the next level. Do we have a lot of things in place in businesses that are recognizing women's voices in the workplace and trying to elevate them? What are some of the conversations around inclusion and the deliberate decisions that need to be made on the part of business owners and managers to promote?
Yeah, there's a lot of conversation around that, and I'm sure you're familiar with Inforum in the state of Michigan, and they're, according to their 2020 Women in Leadership report in corporate, women of color in the state of Michigan are still at 2% of named executive officers, and that hasn't changed since 2003. And since 2007, all women have increased their leadership at executive levels from like 12% to 19%. So we're making strides.
There's growth. It's not going backwards.
We're not going backwards, but it's still pretty static. So there's a lot of conversations about that. Many companies are doing a lot of things around diversity and inclusion and working on those issues.
What are some of the conversations that you are having up here at Mackinac?
Well, I've been having conversations with some of the foundations who are interested in helping us with the pilot program, the TriShare pilot program, and perhaps doing some private funding to expand that program. And talking to the business community about the importance of more women in leadership. I mean, that is one of our key things with the Women's Commission is all across the board is having more women in leadership positions, whether it's at the business level or the nonprofit level or academia, elected office. So that is something that we're focused on.